Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder in Red Onion State Prison in the state of Virginia in the USA. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me today. This is Randall Via, currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder and armed robbery. Currently being housed at Keene Mountain Correctional Center in Oakwood, Virginia in the USA. Welcome to my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoyed listening to me today. If you have any questions or comments or want to leave a message or whatever, I've got a voicemail line. That number is 1-888 524-1932. For anyone outside the continental U.S., just put a plus in front of the 1 and you're good to go. You can also visit my website, which is new and improved and got different features and whatnot, at www.redonionrandy.com. We also have some merch up there. So far, it's just a hoodie and a T-shirt with my logo and everything. You can find that link on my website. I hope you support me. You can also find me on X at Red Onion Randy. I hope you do. Let's get started with the podcast. Today I'm going to talk about the library up here at Keene Mountain. As it's no surprise to long-time listeners, I'm an avid reader. I read pretty much everything I get my hands on, though there has been a few books I've tried to read and even I couldn't read. I've come across some really, really bad ones that I have no idea in the world how in the hell they got published, but that is very rare for me. Normally, I'm very tolerant when it comes to books, and either that or I'm just so damn bored I'm willing to do anything to alleviate it for a moment. But the library up here at Keene Mountain is a really good library. I mean, it is a really good library. She has a lot of books. The lady who runs it is Miss Bundy. And yes, she gets married with children jokes all the time. Though thankfully I haven't succumbed to that yet. Even though I have thought of a couple of good ones for her, but she runs a good library. She actually, if you request a book, let's say you go in there looking for a specific book and they don't have it, all you have to do is just fill out a request form and give it to her, and she will add it to her list. And every time she gets money out of the budget to buy books, she'll start at the top and just buy all of the books on that list until she runs out of money, and then, she crosses them off the list, and the next time she gets more money, she'll just start where she left off and keep it going, so you're going to get the book that you want eventually, unless, of course, it violates security or it's on the disapproved publication list. And they actually have quite a few books on the disapproved publications list. You've got, I believe the author, Robert Greene, I think his name is, the one who does the 48 Laws of Power and, all of those books. You've got stuff like that. You've got a bunch. Matter of fact, I'm going to digress for a moment because I just think that y'all might find this somewhat interesting and sickening at the same damn time. Now, the DOC has a disapproval publications list, and that means there's a list of books on this publications list that you are not allowed to buy, you're not allowed to own, you're not allowed to read, you're not allowed to have within the Department of Corrections. And I remember a very long time ago, I actually got it just to see what was on there. You're back in the hole at Red Onion, you're bored, you do anything. And man, let me tell you, some of the titles on that thing are shocking. I am not exaggerating. You had your typical, some martial art manuals. You had some survival guides, edible guides to plants and stuff. Obviously those can be used for escape. I mean, okay, somebody tries to slide it in, try their hand, it is what it is. You got, some manuals like on, like, matter of fact, I think, excuse me, they had one manual, I believe, from the same company that actually built Red Onion. And it was, I think they had a book or something on it that it was actually how the prison was manufactured and like blueprints and all of that stuff in there. Somebody was really trying their hand. But the thing that really got me the most is you would have titles on there like Daddy F***s 3 daughters at once. Like, what? I mean, you had some crazy off-the-wall titles. You know what I'm saying? It was just, some of them were absolutely sickening. Some of them, it was just clear, just crazy wild sex stories and stuff like that. I mean, I kind of understand the whole wild sex stories as long as it's, adults inside the story. But this is the thing, the only way that a book can get on the disapproved publications list is somebody has to order the book. The book has to show up at the prison to the personal property department. And the personal property department looks at it and says, there's something wrong with this here. And they got to send it to the major of the institution. And the major actually has to read the books to determine whether you can have it or not. So that's not the wild part to me. The wild part to me is that the majors of every institution in Virginia prison has been forced to read pornography over and over again because you have guys keep trying to buy these books and get it in and he has to read it. Like, he has no choice. That's his job description. So I'm just picturing the major, especially like Cowboy Fleming. Now, Cowboy Fleming was, just picture the Marlboro Man from the old Marlboro ads. That's what he looked like. I mean, he was, he looked like he stepped from the 1860s, Texas Longhorn drive to Oklahoma or Kansas City or what have you. Like, that's exactly what he looked like. And I'm just picturing this dude in his office. I'm going to fucking kill him. I'm setting this up because he has to read this book that this dude tried to order. That, to me, it's always been funny. Just picturing someone so manly, forced to read this. And the thing is, like, he can't just simply, just look at the title and be like, man, screw this, I ain't reading, I'm just disapproving it because, the guy pushes the paperwork on, I want my book, man, there's nothing wrong with it, blah, 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 freedom of speech, blah, 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 all that stuff. He actually has to justify it in court if somebody takes it that far. So he actually has to read the book, and it's always been just a funny-ass image in my head of this dude just like a man among men, being forced to read some of this crazy-ass stuff. That's how books get put on the disapproved publications list. But back to the library here at Keene Mountain. I love it for multiple reasons. One, I actually get to walk down to the library every 2 weeks. I go on Tuesdays from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. That's third period. And I spend my 2 hours down there, and I just get to browse. I get to, go and search through the fantasy section or the Western section or, nonfiction, the biography section, whatever it is. It's The room, has got a little bit of size to it. It's not overly big, but on the back walls and everything, you got floor to ceiling bookshelves, and in the middle you've got them about chest high. The bookshelves and everything. You've got cameras in there. You got the desk, for the library workers behind it, and obviously Miss Bundy has her own office. They got 2 desktop computers in there that you can use to look up for books or particular authors or whatnot. So there's a series, and I've read book 1 up here, and they actually had book 2 and 3. It's a trilogy by Ryan Anthony. Now, I've never read this dude before, so I grabbed book 1 along with some other books, and I read book 1, and it was phenomenal. It is one of the best fantasy books I have ever read in my life. I mean, it is so good. So I'm like, damn, man, I love this book. I can't wait to go back and get book 2 and book 3 and finish the series out. I go back, they've got book 3 there, but book 2 has been checked out. Damn it. So every time I go back over there, and it's been like almost 7 months now, book 2 is never there. Book 3 is always there. It's basically the last person who checked it out either got locked up in a hole and somebody kept the book, passed it around. Either way, the book is lost, so now I can't finish that series, and it's really pissing me off every time I go down there, and they still don't have book 2. But if you ever get a chance, if you ever feel like reading a really good fantasy series, like I said, it's only 3 books. It's a trilogy, so it's not like the Robert Jordan with 14, 15 books in the series, or Terry Goodkind. It's like 20-some books in the series now. So good. So good. But I get to go down there, and I get to actually handle the books. I get to pick the books up. I get to read the back of the jacket or the back of the book just to kind of, see what the book is about. Because at Red Onion and Wallace Ridge, I had a book catalog, and it just had the author's name and the title of the book. I never knew what book I was getting or not. That's why I've read some really, really bad books. Just because I could never really check them out, look at them. I couldn't look up information on them and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, the computers were down one day. The desktops were. So, I spoke to Miss Bundy, and she actually has laptops down there. And she went and she signed me up for it and, programmed it and all that for me. And I was able to use my very first laptop in my life, 45 years old, which was kind of cool. It was a new experience. I mean, the program was no different than the desktop. But, I've used desktop computers before. This is literally the first time I've actually got to use a real live laptop, which was pretty cool for me. It was a new experience, and I enjoyed it. But I love the opportunity to read. Reading, it broadens your horizons. I don't care what it is you're reading. Hell, if you just read trashy romance novels, by the time you've read 10 of them, you're going to be a little bit smarter than you was before you started reading them. Books make you smarter. Granted, you definitely need, a good dose of nonfiction. I recommend nonfiction for everyone, especially biographies, especially some history. How can you know where you're going to? How can you know where you're headed if you don't know where you come from? How do you learn from past mistakes if you don't never look at your past mistakes? So that's why I'm an advocate of reading history. That's why the library means so much to me. You get the chance to just step aside from yourself You get a chance to step aside from your problems. You're stressed out, you're depressed, you're going through some things, and you need to escape your own head for a little while. You need to escape that internal pain for a little while. You pick up a good book and it transports you somewhere else. It allows you to live through, this character. And in some ways you become this character, especially those characters that you really connect with. Those characters that you fall in love with, and they become more than just friends, they become family to you. Everybody has heard me talk about Land Manager Gorn from the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. He's the character, and he was the side character. He was never even a main character. However, there was just something about his story. There was just something about the way he was written that just really touched something in me. And it helped change my life. It helped me realize, I was on the wrong path. He was my wake-up character. So I encourage everybody to read simply because you never know when you're going to find your own wake-up character. That character that kind of just opens your eyes to some things you've been blind to. And we all have that. We all have that one book that means everything to you. That one book that you can just read over and over again. So when I'm going to the library, I'm not going down there to check out a book. I'm going down there to find a new friend. I'm going down there to find a new experience. I'm going down there to find, a temporary escape from prison and from the life in here and the stress in here. As a matter of fact, yesterday we went on lock. We had a young guy down in B4 Garbutt. And my heart goes out to that boy because, I was molested as a child. I know how that feels. I can only imagine how much worse it would be, for an adult, for a grown man to actually be. And it in prison is really rare. It is rare, but it still happens. And whether he brought it on himself, I don't care what the circumstances are. As a matter of fact, I haven't even heard the circumstances. I just simply heard, a guy came back in the pod and told me, he was like, damn, it's really effed up. And then upstairs, we had a hell of a good fight upstairs in A3. I didn't get to see it, but you could actually hear it through the ceiling. Them boys were up there rumbling. They was getting it in. It was so bad that the warden actually called institutional lockdown before the fight was even over with. Like, they were still responding to it. The K-9 officers were running upstairs. Other COs were converging from around the institution, to go break it up. So I'm in the cell, but yet I've got a good book I'm reading. As a matter of fact, I'm reading Winter Soldier by Mackenzie Lee, and it's a Marvel book based off of, the Marvel comic books, the Winter Soldier with Captain America and everything, and it's pretty good. I like it. The same author has another book down there, Gamora and Nebula from, the one where they're in space. Crap, I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, my mind is really drawing a blank. I'm sure somebody knows what I'm talking about, but anyway, screw it. I'm gonna keep it moving. So, like, it wasn't that bad for me because I was in the cell and I have a good book to read. I'm in Russia, with this guy going on ops and stuff like that. And that's why you read. You read to improve yourself. You read to improve your vocabulary. You read to escape your pain for a little bit, the stress in your life. And you read to see what's going on in somebody else's life. Whether it's made up or not is irrelevant. There's so many benefits from picking up a book.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, I encourage everyone, go to your local library and just browse around and find something, that you feel that you would enjoy reading. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. You just simply read. The more you read, the better you get. And the better you'll feel. And the better person you'll become. Because it really does expand your horizons and open your eyes to new thoughts and ideas. I appreciate you folks listening to me. Remember, if you want to leave some feedback on the show or, ask a question or whatnot, again, that number inside the continental U.S. is 1-888-524-1932. Anyone outside the U.S., just put a plus in front of the 1. Works just the same. You can also visit me my website at redonionrandy.com or find me on X at redonionrandy. You don't have to, but if you want to, wherever you listen to my podcast, go on and give me some stars, or whatever is appropriate for that platform. I'll take whatever you can give me and be damn grateful for it. But, I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to grow the podcast. I'm trying to reach more people. I'm trying to get my voice out there to help people. The crazy thing is I actually am helping people. And in the process, I'm helping myself. So do what you can. And don't forget, I got sweatshirts, T-shirts, and maybe some other merch coming soon. You can find the link on the website, redonionrandy.com. And y'all take care and stay safe out there. Hope to hear from you soon. There's one book I want to recommend. It's nonfiction. It is an incredible book. I haven't even finished reading it yet because it's a book about your brain. It's a book about intelligence. It's a book about learning, speed reading, memorization, and studying, and so on and so forth. It's a bunch of different techniques and everything. And so I wanted to read it all the way through first before I go back and actually do the exercises in the book. That way I have an overview of what's going on. And I will say this. I'm halfway through the book, and I'm already smarter. It's already improved my memory just because I tried one of the little memorization techniques in there, and the freaking thing works. Like, it genuinely works. It's crazy. The author's name is Jim Quick. That's spelled Kwik. And the name of the book is Limitless. And he got the name from the movie with Bradley Cooper called Limitless, where he takes a pill in the movie and all of a sudden, like, his brain just fully opens and he becomes this, the smartest man on earth and so on and so forth. I cannot begin to recommend this book enough. I've already been recommending it to my friends. I've been recommending it to guys in here. A buddy of mine, John from Missouri, actually sent it to me. And it is really, 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 really good. Please go out, do yourself this favor, do your brain this favor, and buy this guy's book. Or he's got some online seminars, he's got a podcast, he's got things, on the internet that you can go and do also. And believe me, I wish to God they would put this dude's stuff on our tablets in here. Even if I had to pay for it, I've got some money saved up towards a lawyer. I've got some money saved up, trying to go home. I would spend every single penny I have. I would go without coffee. I would go without commissary to buy everything this guy has. Look, I don't come on here and recommend a lot of stuff. Convict conditioning, because if you really want to get strong, if you really want true, genuine power, you need to go do convict conditioning. If you want your brain to beat Hercules, you need to go get Jim Quick Limitless. Cannot recommend it enough, and it's a book that I will keep with me always. It is that good.
Thank you for using GTL.